Hi, I'm Tiffany Domena. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my website is howtoentrepreneur.org, and my mission is to help you grow a business from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise. And today I'm really excited because I have Nathaniel Brenes here from onemoorecupofcoffee.com, and he'll be talking with me about passive income affiliate marketing versus active income affiliate marketing. And this is a topic that I'm personally really interested in, and I know a lot of other people who get into affiliate marketing are interested in as well. So if you've ever wondered how to get into passive income affiliate marketing, or if it's possible, or if all sites start out active and how it goes, or what the mix-up is, then this interview will be really exciting for you because that's exactly what we'll be talking about. Of course, we'll first be talking about a little bit about Nathaniel so you can get to know him. But after we get into that, then we'll be talking all about passive income versus active income affiliate marketing. So first, I want to start by having Nathaniel introduce himself. So what is a little background on you? How did you start One More Cup of Coffee? Like, what do you want people to know about you starting out?
I started the site back in 2010. Wait, no, 2012. 2010 was when I started affiliate marketing. I was living in China, um, and I was making like okay money for a Chinese salary, but I kind of realized that if I ever wanted to travel outside of the country or outside of Southeast Asia, that it was very difficult to save money for traveling. And I was real into traveling at the time. So I thought, well, why don't I start some sort of online business because US dollars go a lot further in China and that area. So, even if I could get something like $1,000 a month online, which doesn't sound like a lot in the US,
Yeah.
that's basically what I was making already there. So I could, double my income in China with very little effort. I had no idea what I would be doing, but, I thought, oh, maybe I'll do some sort of exporting or some sort of, and this was before e-commerce was really blowing up. I didn't even know what affiliate marketing was. It took me about 2 years to figure things out. And then,
Wait, what do you mean?
Was
What,
that?
what do you mean? What did you have to figure out?
I just mean with wealthy affiliate taking the courses and
Oh, okay.
building various sites. I used to have so many sites. Um, I mean, that was when like exact match domains were popular. So I would just buy, basically I had one niche. And I mean, I went through a bunch of different niches. Like I had a horse care niche, and then I had a website about ankle rehab. Um, and then I had a website about, there's this product on ClickBank which is supposed to teach you how to like recover from a sprained ankle. I had one website which is, it's ridiculous. So there's this thing called Asian flush, which is a lot of Asians, they're missing a specific enzyme that helps them digest alcohol. That's why there's a stereotype that if you're Asian and you drink, your face turns red. It's a real thing.
Wow.
And I mean, I was in China, so I saw it all over the place. And then there's this product on ClickBank, which was supposed to teach you how to overcome that.
I'd never heard of that before.
I mean, it's a legit thing. It's an enzyme
Yeah.
they've isolated. And I made some money off of that, but these were terrible websites. Eventually I got into VPN stuff, and then that took off. But yeah, I would have like 60 domains on these various VPN keywords, and then I would just, uh, you know, get a bunch of backlinks to them, spin a bunch of content. And that was when content spinners were really popular. And of course, none of those are around now. I had like 60 different domains at one time going with all the same content, all spun, and they're all trash now, of course.
So that's an interesting bio. Did you start out with affiliate marketing, or did you try other online business types and then stumble upon wealthy affiliate? How did it go?
Well, I got roped into a couple different pyramid schemes first. You search how to make
Oh,
money online, and you get into the get rich quick stuff. Um, I think the first one I really, really remember was this thing called People String. And it's this concept you hear every couple of years. It'll surface, oh, the social media giants are making money off of our hard work, sharing articles online.
yeah.
We need to redistribute the income to the people who are using the sites, and this is going to be the hot new social thing. um, so of course I joined, and then there was various upsells, and then they had me send emails to my friends, and everyone was like, oh, did you get hacked? Why are you sending me this crap? um, and I never saw. I only put maybe $100 into it. I was skeptical enough that I didn't lose too much money, but it was just a waste of time.
Yeah,
um, and then I don't really know. That was, I think I found Wealthy Affiliate through an ezine article. You remember those?
yeah.
um, and
That's
yeah, then
interesting.
that was it. That's when I started doing the various niche websites and ClickBank products and that type of stuff.
So at that point, were they I mean, they weren't the networking community that they are today. Did you join when they were like a keyword company, or what was it like when you joined? Was it a forum?
Yeah, it was the forum stage. So
Okay.
there was still, I don't really 100% remember what the training was. I know that they weren't using WordPress sites at the time. They were doing their own thing, and that you could have like 5 WordPress sites, and you could build as many of the other type of sites. And I could never figure out the website builder, so I ended up just doing WordPress just because I couldn't figure it out. And
Okay.
eventually they moved to all WordPress, which was good move, I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So, when you joined, you basically were joining for the networking component because it was a pretty engaged forum. Is that
No, I joined because I mean when I joined I didn't have any affiliate sites. They're the ones who got me into affiliate marketing.
okay? So they
Before
had
that it was
training.
was
They
that
had some training that was fairly good. And how did that integrate with the forum? I'm trying to understand it.
the forum was like a separate site, I think. Like you'd click a link and it would open the forum if I'm
Okay.
remembering correctly.
Okay.
But they did have training, not as much as they do now, and there was no live chat and there was no webinars. Um, but I mean, it was a similar training structure in that they had various steps you'd go through and different levels, and
Mm,
um, I don't remember exactly how it was structured at that time, but I mean, the general overview of what they were teaching was pretty similar.
okay. And since you came from these scams and pyramid schemes and stuff like that, did you come into affiliate marketing believing that this is going to work, or um, did you kind of think like it's not going to work, or where were you mindset wise?
Yeah, I had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, that's why I ended up using Nathaniel instead of my first name, which is Roderick. I was like,
Okay.
security through obscurity. If I, let's say I end up promoting some, another people string or something, at least it won't be attached to my real name. Now it's kind of
Oh.
a pain
I
because,
didn't even know that wasn't your real name. That's funny.
yeah, I'm slowly trying to transition just because it's just a pain with all this. I have people who call me Roderick and people who call me Rick and Nathaniel, but the site's all branded Nathaniel, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's the story behind that.
So you were trying to protect yourself.
Yeah, because I didn't know, and I mean, I knew when you put stuff online, everyone can see it. So I
Yeah.
just thought, I don't know if I want to be, because just the first, when I sent out those emails for those first scams I tried to join, I was like, yeah, join me, it's fun, make money. Um, Everyone was so skeptical, and so I even got a few mean emails from like acquaintances who I didn't know that well. They're like,
Uh-huh.
why are you sending me this crap? Why are you trying to steal my money? So it was not a very positive response from pretty much everyone I knew from the beginning, which
Yeah.
is fair enough.
Yeah. So you started entrepreneurship kind of with maybe not the most support because you may have burnt some bridges doing that, huh?
I mean, yeah, burning bridges sounds a little extreme, but yeah, I mean,
or or
no one
like
was supportive is a pretty good assessment of that.
were you at that time, were you married? Did you have other responsibilities or things that you were balancing at the time?
I was lucky that the job that I had in China, I only had 2 lessons a day during the week, so I pretty much had free time from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
yeah, and then I was had full class loads on the weekends because it's like a supplementary English school.
And so from there you were spending were you spending a lot of time on the business starting out, or did you start
Not
off?
at the beginning because at that time I was trying to start a cafe in China. So the rules in China are super relaxed, and if you have the right connections, you can do anything. And so you get this, or at least I got this kind of entrepreneur bug because, um, if you know the right people, and I was living in a small town, and I was one of 10 non-Chinese people in the town, and probably one of 2 white people in the
Wow.
town. So you get to know the a lot of the government people and business people real quick because everyone wants to meet you. And so people would put this, bug in my ear, like, oh, we need to do export import. We need to export tea out of China, and we need to import iPhones from the U.S. And then I thought, well, a cafe sounds pretty easy. I can make coffee and you know, sandwiches. I know it sounds weird saying now, but sandwiches were a big deal where I was living. Where it's like, oh, this is American food. It's sandwiches. And they're like, oh, American sandwiches are better than Chinese sandwiches. And so me and this guy started this coffee and sandwiches cafe. And I was running that out of my apartment. And so it was just
So you were delivering, or what were you doing?
both. I mean, it was a high stress time. I think I lost like 25, 30 pounds um, because I lived on the 7th floor and there was no elevator, and neither of us had run a business before. So we're waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to deliver coffee to students in nearby high schools. And then we were doing that, and then we were preparing for lunch, and we were delivering lunch, all through 11 to 2, making, delivering, and then, ordering supplies and all that stuff. And then in the evening, we opened up the cafe for people to actually come into my house and drink coffee. So we had all these like, chairs and, various things, whatever you find in a cafe in my apartment. And I was sort of quarantined to the bedroom. So it was wild, Eventually, yeah. So I was doing maybe like an hour a day on the website stuff, and nothing was really working. Um, and then eventually, we were trying to go official and get a spot, and bribe the right people to get whatever licenses we need. And
Yeah.
um, things fell through with financing, is how I would put it generally. So we didn't have enough money to do what we wanted to do, and then the business partnership fell apart. And so then I fell back on the website stuff. About that time, it had been like maybe 6 months since I started that first VPN website, and so I started to see a couple sales, and then a couple sales a month, and then a couple sales a week, and then it started doing pretty good after that.
So the VPN website was the first one that you started, or you started a bunch at the same like time?
Bunch at the same time. The VPN one was the one that took off.
Okay. And that's so funny. So you were starting out spending about an hour a day on the websites, and why wasn't it taking off?
Just typical sandbox stuff, I think.
Okay.
But it was also I didn't know what I was doing, so I was writing a lot shorter articles. Everything was a lot more promotional. I wasn't trying to inform people. I was just trying to rank for keywords and get my affiliate links in there.
Yeah.
And looking back, I mean, those first sales I made were just random. It was just random clicks, people getting lost on page 2 or 3 of Google and accidentally clicking my link and accidentally ordering something several days later. But it was enough motivation to keep me interested. And, since then, obviously, I've developed a lot more, and I'm more focused on writing helpful content and, not just making sales and,
Yeah.
doing what's that unique selling proposition,
Yeah.
being a little different. And yeah, I have more of a strategy now. Back
That's
then it was just
cool.
all about making sales.
I think a lot of people start out like that. And um, so it's funny that you mentioned even back then that it was, competition and things like that. Now it's even more because the knowledge I think is growing. More people are understanding how to use the internet. And um, so would you say that maybe the same strategy that you used at that time, would you recommend that today, or do you think that that's just it never was a good strategy?
Which part of the strategy do you mean?
You started out with a bunch of sites and you were trying to see which one worked, and yeah, do you think that's a good idea today, or?
It's hard to say. um, I see advantages to both. I mean, because so like, let's say I'm working on 5 websites at one time.
Mhm.
If I make a mistake on one, I make a mistake across all 5. So
Right.
what I would end up doing, like, I was using copyrighted images, for example, and
Mhm.
I didn't understand that that was an issue at the time. And then, I had, I don't know if I got an email or something, or I read something, but somehow I got spooked. I'm like, oh, I can't use copyrighted images anymore. So then I had to go through and replace all the images for all my
Oh
websites.
wow. Yeah.
So every single mistake like that, you'd have to redo, across everything. But it really supercharged my WordPress experience. So,
Yeah.
if you do things once, like I used to have this problem with FTP. Every time I'd only have to log into FTP once every 3 months or once every 6 months, so I'd forget it. And it would be, I'd have to rewatch the YouTube videos, redo everything, relearn it every time. Where if you have to correct that mistake 5 times in a row, then you learn it faster.
Yeah.
So I did learn a lot faster that way. And I think it's hard for people, if you're brand new to affiliate marketing and you're brand new to building websites,
Mhm.
it's hard to see the big picture right away.
Yeah.
You can look at something like, if you're in the finance niche and you look at something like, what's that, Nerd Wallet, or these big blogs about credit card. You just look at that and you're like, how do I make something like that? It seems impossible. Um, or you just don't know anything about branding. Like, oh, I used to think it was, um, like, sometimes you'll run into these guys in the make money online niche, and they're
Mhm.
like the cool hardcore guy. They're like, F you, I don't care what you think, I'm a rich millionaire and I'm going to show you how to be a rich asshole. Just, what was that, Rich Jerk? Was
Yeah.
popular for a while. um, and I used to think that was cool, but now I look and it's kind of cringy because I don't know. It's just not, so I may have made a branding decision like that early on. And
Uh-huh.
now looking back, I think that would have been a mistake.
Yeah.
So my point with that is, if you're trying to develop this huge, giant, 6-figure per month website, but you've never built an affiliate site before, I think it's
Mhm.
hard to wrap your head around big picture stuff like that. So tinkering around with these little sites, even though they may have less potential long term, it's a good learning experience.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's frustrating if you spend 2 years trying to develop this little site about whatever hobby you have, and then 2 years down the road you put all your time and money into this and it's making $2,000 a month and you don't know where to go next. Now you got to start all over from the beginning and, try to develop a bigger site. So I don't know, there's advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. So, how long have you been, you've been in affiliate marketing, you said since 2010?
Yeah.
So
10
that's
years.
10 years. Okay. So you really have a lot of knowledge in the field. You've seen a lot of trends come and go, right?
Yep.
So one trend is people who want to get into affiliate marketing like they would real estate. Um, People who maybe they want to add something into their portfolio, their financial portfolio that can be passive. And so, do you think that there are certain niches where that's possible and certain niches where that's not possible? Or what do you think about that?
I think there's potential to treat it like real estate, but I don't think it's possible right now. Um, or it depends on what your skill level is with computers and websites in general.
Uh-huh.
Like if, let's say I have a couple $100,000 in cash and I want to get some kind of return on that, I can buy a house and then just get a property manager to manage the property and they'll take
Hmm.
care of everything. And I don't have to have any sort of input
Right.
in that. So, that would be truly passive income because you're not doing anything other than tax time collecting your whatever documentation you need and giving it to your tax guy.
Hmm.
Where I don't think there's a property manager type position for affiliate sites right now.
Hmm.
That may be on the way. There's various things that you can do where you like pool your money with other investors and you invest in websites.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't looked into that personally, and I know they just had that, was it income shops that have you heard about that?
No.
I think it was income shops where they basically did this thing where they had investors pool their money to buy niche sites and they were promised 15% return or X amount of return over a period of time. And then
Hmm.
Google had an update and all the sites crashed. And then they were reliant on new investors to put money in order to pay the old investors, and it turned into a Ponzi scheme.
Mm.
So there's a couple companies out there like that. Um, but they're like brand new within the last year or two. So it's unclear what direction that's going. But so like if you were to take that same couple $100,000 and put that into an affiliate site, if you don't have the knowledge on how to run that affiliate site, it's a huge risk on what's going to happen to that money. Because I mean, aside from Google updates, you could have competition come in to outrank you. You could have affiliate programs that stop running. You could have commissions change. You could have companies stop selling certain products. So if
Hmm.
you don't have the knowledge on how to run that website, you can't just leave it there and expect infinite returns until the rest of the time. Real
Yeah.
estate, it's different. The house is still going to be there, and if it needs repairs, someone's going to take care of it. So you would at least have to know, if you have zero experience and your website goes down, who are you going to call? If you don't know what hosting is, you don't know how to contact the host to have them figure that out.
Yeah.
If you don't know that your plugins need to be updated, how are you going to update your plugins? Are you even going to hire the right person to do the job that needs to be done if you don't know what needs to be done?
Right.
Um, so yeah, so I would say in order for affiliate sites to be truly passive income, you would need that property
Knowledge.
manager type position to be involved.
Yeah. Because when what I've seen, a lot of people think that once they get to the point where they hire writers, then it becomes passive. But you see companies like Huffington Post or Entrepreneur.com, they have lots of writers, and it doesn't turn passive at that point. Do you agree?
Yeah, because you still got to manage writers. I mean, um, again, you can hire a manager to manage your writers, but if you're dealing with the writers directly, you got to check to make sure the information they're publishing is accurate. And,
Spelling,
people,
grammar.
yeah, and, even if the grammar's spot on, maybe it's not structured in a way that's good for getting affiliate clicks, or, a lot of
SEO.
writers, they don't understand the basics of SEO. So you have to give them very specific instructions. And a lot of times people, they get relaxed and then they forget. I've been through that as well, where I used to hire people and I just say, okay, just publish it to the site.
Uh-huh.
People are people, and they get relaxed in their job and they sort of cheat here or there. And people, on the worst side, you have people copying and spinning content. And then, on just the, average mistakes everyone makes, I've had times where I've had to go back and correct hundreds of articles just because I wasn't paying attention, or delete hundreds of articles because, I was busy and I said, okay, I wanted to order this article package. Here's 200 articles. And I didn't check anything just because I assumed they were doing their job. And then I went through and none of them were usable. And I
Oh,
accepted
that's horrible.
it. So it was my fault. So, there's $500 down the drain just because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. And I can see that happening. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you about it, because I know you've had experience with approaching affiliate marketing in that way, and trying different models to make it more passive. So I thought it was interesting to talk to you about your experience. Um, so if, like you're saying, that it will be required that they have to have the knowledge of how to run it, what the maintenance is, in order to like delegate and scale it properly. So do you think that it's just not appropriate to expect the passive components at the startup phase, or do you think that it's just never really passive?
Yeah, there's no way it could be passive in the start when you're starting a site, or at least I haven't figured it out yet. I mean, I'm still trying. I just started a new website here and I literally don't have the time to work on it. So we're going to see. 3 years ago, I started a site which is doing good now. But I did put in a lot of my own work into the site.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't truly passive to start. We're going to see how that goes in the next couple years with having, I'm going to try to do less on the site now.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how that goes. I mean, my idea is that, you should be able to hire out these positions.
Yeah.
Get a good writer that you like. Test them for a couple months, monitor what they're doing, and once they get the idea of what you're trying to do, then you can sort of hand them a keyword list. But then you still have to have the keywords that you need. So you could maybe teach them how to do keyword research, or maybe hire someone to do keyword research, deliver 20 keywords a week or something like that. And you got to find someone who can do that. And people have different opinions on what's a good keyword and what's not. So you have to decide what type of content you're going to produce. It's like something obvious would be like, oh, I'm just going to hire someone to review every single type of electric shaver there is. As well, all right, how's that going to look? Is there, because I've run into this problem where you try to review everything in a niche. After a while, everything is kind of similar. Like, is there a big difference between, Gillette X75 and Gillette X76? Not really. And so Google's going to see that, in my opinion, Google's going to see that content is very similar. So although you'll have a lot of articles on your site, I think it's unlikely that those are going to rank. So I still haven't quite figured out how to manage everything on a higher level. When I'm involved and I'm picking out the keywords and editing the articles and stuff like that, then it's working out okay so far. But I haven't removed myself from the process enough to call it passive in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Um, from what I've seen, not just with affiliate marketing, but with other business types, and it's like you have to keep moving back. Like you pretty much you figure out what job you have, you make a job for yourself, and then you document what that job requires, and then you replace yourself and keep replacing yourself until the business is more independent. But it's from what I've seen, it takes some time to get that to get a business to be passive, because it's kind of like it's kind of like raising kids. You have to train the business to be independent, and there's like lots of hiccups along the way, because maybe you do hire a writer and the writer isn't the best, and then you have to go back and redo that step until you learn how to hire a writer very well, and
Yeah.
you have to practice. So it's kind of like you end up inventing this machine that can operate on its own, but it takes some time to make that invention work well, and that's really what ideally a business that's passive would do. But I think it's definitely not just the writer part that you have to do. You have to have writers, editors, you have to have managers, you have to have it will have to grow to be something where all of these people are trained to operate separate from you. You have to have a lot of governing documents to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, that's something that I definitely have not done very well. You know, I have some things that I can like copy paste when I'm hiring people, but it's not like a full on, you know, I just grab this PDF and send it to someone, which that would be a good next step for me. You know, I still have to tweak everything and you know, talk to the person and all that stuff.
Yeah, because like, I was in the military for 9 years, and I would say the military is somewhat somewhat passive from the government. Like, it operates somewhat passive from the government. It's not like Trump has to tell each troop what to do.
Right.
So, but in order for it to be like that, we have to have documents that we go off of. It's like if it was documents for everything. I was in public health, so how often do people need their immunizations? How often do you have to do an inspection on a food facility? How often, like all of that was documented, and then exactly what you do when you go is documented as well. So I think it definitely comes down to you have to make it where you don't have to give the directions, where they can refer to something else and then train them to do that. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, that's a
Um,
really good idea.
yeah, I
Makes
mean,
sense.
that's what we had to do. And then when we would deploy, um, and a lot of times you deploy and maybe you don't have as much management or leadership in a location as in other locations. So you have to learn how to go to those documents really good. Um, in the Air Force, they call it Air Force instructions. So it was like, and they always use the acronym AFI, and then it's like AFI 33 dash this dash that. So it was a huge thing. It's a huge amount of documentation that it takes to run um, a business if you want it to be passive. But I do see where there's these sites that are in more narrow niches, like passion niches or something like that. And there's not as much competition there. There's kind of like holes or gaps in the internet. And as a result of that, then you can write about something that's in high demand and low supply, and it can rank for a long time, and it has passive components. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I see potential for that. I don't know of any like examples where I can say like I've definitely seen that and it's definitely proof of concept. I don't know. I think there's competition everywhere. You know,
Right.
there's people who are, you know, their exclusive thing is I can't believe how difficult it is to buy domain name these days for keywords. Just last night, I have a problem of drinking and buying domains. I was buying solar powered air conditioners, and I
Mm.
thought, oh, that's a unique idea. Of course, the .com was gone. I think I changed it up. It was like solar powered was taken, so I took solar power air condition. No, solar. Anyway, some mix of words. I ended up getting acceptable.com, which I don't even know why I buy these anymore because exact match domains are not that great, but I still like getting a good one. Um, but every idea you think of, someone else has gone through. They have a algorithm to find these things, and it's the same with these underserved markets and small niches. Someone's there. Someone's doing something.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a lot of potential for finding like a secret where like, oh, I found this thing. Oh, it's $100 commission, and it's no competition, and no one's going to discover that for the next 10 years.
Yeah. So, you do have experience with getting articles to rank for a keyword that might drive traffic for a long period of time. Do you think that that's becoming less common because more people are getting into having an internet business? Do you think that it's more chances of that being possible with certain niches over others, or what do you think?
Um,
Like let's say for example, I want to get into a lifestyle niche like parenting. Um, would you do you think that that'll be less possible for me to have articles that are just like passively just bringing in commissions versus going down a niche like pacifiers? um, do you think that it's a certain niche that is more active versus more passive, or?
no, I wouldn't say it's niche dependent. I personally don't have much faith in the I wouldn't stake my mortgage on an article that is ranking and earning money. Um,
Yeah.
like, even if I've been in many situations where I have an article that ranks well and pulls in thousands of dollars a month, and then
Mhm.
a year later, it doesn't rank.
Yeah.
Or the most frustrating thing from the past year or two, I had this great idea for an article. I wanted to do how to make money on Twitch, and I don't know if this is exactly related, but I paid like $500 for like a 6,000 word article from a Twitch expert, and then I spent another $200 updating it with this FAQ section, and I've gone through multiple updates throughout the years, and I don't do any backlinking, so I guess I could have done more with that, but I guess my point is if you have this article that's ranking and then it just suddenly doesn't rank, there's not, a formula you can do where you can bring it back. Um, and I think that's why now I do more like larger branded sites because
Yeah.
it's more diversified.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd rather have, it's nice and impressive to have that one article that makes a ton of money, but if it doesn't rank, it doesn't rank. For example, I had a couple years ago, I had this article, and it made like 30 grand in a month from one article from one affiliate program, uh, and that was great. But 2 years later, it's not there, and I don't know what to do with it to make it rank again. Because I got crowded out with competition and various Google updates. So if I was dependent on that for passive income, then I'd be screwed right now. The site, of course, has multiple other streams of income coming in, and
Yeah.
so it wasn't life changing for me. It sucks, but you know, if I had bought that site, if it was like, oh, $25,000 a year passive income, that income would have dried up by now.
Yeah. Also, I know that SEO, like, I've seen a lot of people who there's a lot of averages and things like that, articles on how long it takes to rank. Um, and most of us as online entrepreneurs using SEO want to think that um, when they say 6 months, then every article you have is going to rank in 6 months. How much control do you have of that? And is there one, like, a way that you can absolutely say, yes, by 8 months, this one's gonna hit number one, and by 7 months, this one's gonna, like, is there an absolute way you can say that?
There's no way. I mean, you can't guess. I mean, you can say on average. I mean, what I tell people is like, okay, 0 to 3 months, you'll start getting a couple visits a day. You might have some page 2 or 3 rankings,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not even page 2. 3 to 6 months, maybe you have some page 2, maybe a couple page 1 rankings if you're going for ultra low competition keywords. Um, I wouldn't expect, unless you're writing every single day and you're writing really good content or publishing every day, whether you outsource it or not. I wouldn't expect any great rankings or great income in less than 6 months. And if you're a real superstar, you can be making a full-time income in less than 12 months. I've known multiple people who have done that, $10,000 a month in less than 12 months. So it's possible, but you
What do
really
you
have
think
to hit it.
separates those? What separates those superstars?
People who publish more. There are exceptions to the rule where, like, okay, some people will say, oh, I just published 10 excellent articles, and they ranked, and now I have a full-time income from this site. That happens too. But most of the time, with most people, especially if you're starting from the beginning and you don't have experience writing or publishing or affiliate marketing, the more you publish, the more practice you get. And you're going to publish some garbage in the beginning, but you're going to learn from that, and you got to kind of learn the ropes. And just something about that 6 to 12 month range. I don't know how many days that adds up to or how many words that adds up to, but if you can really hit publishing hard, those 6 to 12 months, I think, is when you really start to see better results.
But I have watched people who have like only a few articles and it really takes off. And I think that if you don't publish a lot and you still want to rank a lot, you got to get a lot of attention. And what I see them do, like I think James Clear, the Habit guy,
Okay.
and Brian Dean from Backlinko, a lot of people say, oh, well, they only have 32 articles and they have all this traffic, but they have 32 articles and they have connections with Neil Patel, and they're on TV, and they're getting a lot of attention to those 32 articles. And so you got to be doing some massive A-level collaborations in order to be able to make that take off like that. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, that's a good clarification or good distinction. I don't do any outreach. I don't do any social media. I don't do any collaborations. I sort of work in my cave and see what happens. So
But
that's
it's
something
still
I could definitely.
possible. Like, you still made it work and you still are able to drive lots of traffic to your website, even though you're in your cave. Like, so that's one thing. But then there's people who are completely not in a cave. And the way that they make a little bit of content stretch a lot is because they're so outspoken, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, for example, I did the niche research. I did the keyword research. I found
Mm-hmm.
low competition keyword for this new site that I'm working on.
Uh-huh.
I published 20 articles, 3,000 words each, and it's a brand new website, and it's been 2 weeks, a month, and none of them are ranked. They're all indexed, but none of them are ranking in the top 20 results.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of content, and it's on lower competition phrases,
Hmm.
you would think, oh, good content ranks and low competition, you can rank. But sometimes it just has to stew in there, and you got to have some sort of site structure, internal links, and relevant content and all that stuff. So,
Honestly, that is my least favorite thing about SEO is how little control you have.
yeah,
And like if I go out and I want to get a sale today, I know I can knock on the door, and those people will answer, and I can say, hey, I want to give you this presentation, and possibly drum up sales today. With SEO, it just does not work like that. And so a lot of people who come from a background where maybe they do offline sales or something like that, um, and are used to having more control, it's really difficult to get into something like SEO because it's not something you have control of. But what would you say if there was a person who, I mean, which I think this is majority people, who want to have control of um, when they get traffic and sales? How would they do that online? What do you think is the best way to drive traffic if you want to know for sure you're going to get traffic at this time and possibly sales?
I was just, when you were talking about that, it's a frustrating proposition, telling people to get into affiliate marketing, and then you're like, okay, we don't know how Google works. I can't guarantee that anything we tell you will actually rank your articles. We don't know when you'll make money. We can't tell you how to make money, but trust me, it works.
Yeah, we've
uh,
seen it work lots of times. I know, and so I want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead, keep going.
oh, I would say the best strategy is going to be have a couple of big main articles on your site, and then do the rest with low competition keywords. And if
Yeah.
you and do that for 6 months, and if even if you don't have a keyword tool, just use Google auto suggest and answer questions,
Yeah.
and eventually you're gonna get some question that nobody else answered in exactly the way you answered it, and that's going to be your first trickle of traffic. And that'll happen 3 to 6 months down the road.
Yeah. Um, I know when I was doing freelance work and working with companies who had investors, and they'll be starting up online, and but they have to be able to tell their investors when they're going to get returns. So they really need to know when they're going to get traffic. SEO was just a secondary method of getting traffic because they knew they didn't control that. So in those cases, most of the time, paid traffic is the way to go.
Yeah.
And I think it's really like the only way you can predict it a little better because once you pay, you bid on the keyword, or once you pick a good audience, the traffic is gonna come. It's then just about converting the traffic, but it just costs so much to get the insight, and so I think a lot of people who are starting out with no social circle and a small budget, they want the same control that you would have with a big budget.
Yeah.
um, but I don't think you get that same control without having a bigger budget where you can pay for a more predictable method of traffic. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you have an established site and you're familiar with your niche and you know how to do keyword research, then you can have a bit more predictability. You
Yeah.
can say, okay, I know I can see page one is, all full of websites which are not relevant, and they don't contain the exact keyword. So I'm confident that if I write this article and it's 1,500 words long and I do some internal linking back to it, that within a week I can rank on page one. Or within a
So
week I can rank on page two, and then maybe I'll write some supplemental articles and boost it to page one.
okay, so One More Cup of Coffee is that one of your most established sites, or is that like, do you
Yeah,
have
that's
other
the
ones?
longest running. I sold all my VPN websites. So one more cup of coffee is the longest site I've had now.
Okay. So with that site, you can, since it's more established in the niche and since it has more authority, do you feel pretty confident about your predictions with that site?
Yeah, but even then, just low competition stuff. I mean, with higher competition keywords, who knows?
You can't
Like,
predict it.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if I was doing more backlinking stuff, things could perform better. But I don't know. It kind of seems random sometimes. Sometimes I'll just shoot to number one. I mean, I've ranked spot number one within an hour before. Um,
Mhm.
but other times I just published a 3,000 word article on some product review, which is relatively low competition,
Mhm.
and I'm stuck on number 25. So who knows what's going on there?
But with paid ads, you've done paid ads before on the same site.
Yeah.
So when you did paid ads, like, can you compare how quickly you were able to drive traffic with that?
Well, I mean, that's instant. Within the day, I could drive
That's what I
traffic to.
mean.
So the issue is the ROI. I mean,
Yeah.
in 2019, I did a whole string of paid ads, and I lost about $6,000 and made about $20. So clearly, I'm not a paid ads expert. It's something I need to work on, but uh, it's something I want to work on because it's a good backup. Who
Yeah, it
knows
is.
what
Yeah.
algorithm update you're going to get caught in, or what competition is going to start. What's really frustrating, the most frustrating thing for me, I think, with SEO is when you're ranking and then someone gets your same keyword, whether they're copying it from your site or just using your same keyword tools, and then they do it better than you, and you're like, I, they beat me, but they deserve it.
Yeah.
So then you have to decide, do I want to invest time in trying to regain that position, or do I want to just
Uh,
move on to the next thing?
yeah. Yeah. So, because you can't optimize and try to get the ranking back, but yeah, sometimes it may not be worth it, huh?
Yep.
So, um, I saw on, I think it's Neil Patel that might have said it, but he talks about the digital media trifecta. I think that's what he called it. And basically you have your owned media where you have your website and then you're driving traffic with like SEO or something like that, social media, organic stuff, and then you have the earned media where you're getting social shares and stuff based off of your reputation, and then you have the paid media where you're paying for traffic. And he basically what I saw, I think it was him that was saying it, but is that the combination of having all those three things really makes you a reliable stream of traffic and more reliable sales. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds nice. um, I mean, I'm in a bit of a different position from Neil Patel in that I'm not selling my own products. So
Yeah.
I don't know if paid traffic works. Uh, Not that it works differently, but I don't know if the ROI is different for affiliates versus selling your own product.
Mhm.
Because he's selling SEO services
Mhm.
and they're not cheap.
Mhm.
So, he can pay $2 a click. And if he makes one sale and it nets him 1,000, 2,000 bucks, whatever, it's easier to get ROI on that versus, you know, if I'm promoting a product and the sale price is, $50 and I'm making 10%, that's $5 that I'm making off of the sale. What price of clicks and how many clicks do I need to actually convert and all that stuff. So yeah, paid ads have not worked out for me so far, but I mean, it would be nice. And then, social media too. I've got a lot of excuses here, but social media is just not my personality. And I've tried it before with Twitter. I don't know how many times I can say, "Okay, guys, published an article on low competition keywords." Everyone likes to come out with these new strategies and new, sky is falling, Google algorithm update. Here's how to beat it. All this stuff, and I just, I don't know. My day to day doesn't change that much, so I don't know if I have that much to say each day to be able to promote. But
I
anyway,
think you would. I think you would.
maybe.
Yeah, I think you may just need somebody to work with you, but I definitely think you would. I think that you might be surprised at what things that you do that are actually interesting to people and that they would like to learn more about. And it just is experimental. But once you get it, I think you would definitely you could do it. um, with paid ads, I think that's why a lot of people go the high ticket route with high ticket products because they're trying to make that ROI and trying to make sure they get their money back. I think that if like the alternative to not having higher ticket prices would be either recurring revenue and having high lifetime customer value or having a lot of products. Like you look at sites like Udemy that does aggressive paid ads, um, and they're selling courses for like $19 or something like that. But they're still, I mean, they've got to be making money, otherwise they wouldn't keep doing it,
I
right?
don't know these days. I mean, Uber's been losing money for how many years? And, they're doing ads and they're recruiting. And, when you get to higher level business stuff, sometimes companies, they lose money on the front end. So Udemy might be, they might not be making money. They're trying to, build their brand for a couple years and see what happens. I don't understand higher level business strategy stuff. So I'm very basic, like, pay 50 cents, earn a dollar. That's good.
Yeah, you want short-term ROI. Well, I think that yeah, I agree with you that they do a lot for brand awareness. Um, I agree with that, and you see, like I've watched a lot of documentaries on Jeff Bezos or Amazon, and he just kept reinvesting aggressively for years. Um, and it's because he really wanted a large percentage of the market share. So instead of taking profit and going and buying him a nice car and his wife a new purse and stuff, he was reinvesting aggressively, probably keeping his own salary at a normal everyday person's rate and just reinvesting in the business. So I I think that I agree with you. um, in order to get there, I think in order to grow like high level business, you do have to do a lot with brand awareness, getting attention, and scaling that attention into dollars. But yeah, so
Have you done any paid ads for your howtoentrepreneur.org?
yeah, I have, and I experimented with. I did a lot with pay experimentation. And I like paid ads. And that was one interesting thing about the John Crestani interview, talking to him, because that's been his main strategy. But one thing that's really tough about paid ads is, especially when you're using your own money, is when you're starting out, being as aggressive as you need to in order to learn and being okay with losing the money at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like that can be hard to do. Like because the expectation has to be that you won't earn from the first campaigns,
Yeah.
and the first campaigns are just to learn what's working, and you have to get it where you're getting traffic first, and then take that and optimize it. So once your ads are really driving traffic, then you have to um, go back to the negative keyword list and go to your landing pages and see what you could change to make them convert better. The optimization is key in paid
Yeah.
ads. And yeah, so but the aggression, he really capitalized when during that interview, he really capitalized on how aggressive you have to be starting out. And I think most people who are thinking about paid ads aren't thinking about stomaching the loss, the upfront loss, long
Yeah.
enough that you can really recoup it.
It can feel like a lot of money. I mean, if you lose $300 in ads, you're like, oh, what did I just do? Um,
Yeah,
but in the scheme of things, if you're trying to make $10,000 a month, I mean, spending $300 on education is not that bad.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, I agree. I think that's just how business goes. You have to invest first before you make something,
Well, that's why
and
I like SEO for beginners because
it's the
it
lower
hurts less.
barrier. Yeah.
You can waste an hour writing an article, and then even if it goes right into the trash, it's just time. What were you gonna do? Watch TV? Go play basketball? Like there, you don't. It's not as much as saying like I used to have $100 and now I don't, and I got nothing to show for it.
Yeah. And with paid ads, you can feel like you're gambling for a little bit.
Yeah.
You can feel like you're gambling until you really build that skill that you kind of know what works. You know what a landing page should look like. You know what keywords would convert well. Like once you, or if you're doing Facebook, you have to really know market research and audiences and be really good at predicting what type of offers will work well for what audiences. But yeah,
I
I
definitely
agree
haven't
with
gotten
you.
to that stage yet. I'm still at the losing money stage.
I think I'm surprised because I'm sure you've learned a lot from working with the like SEO and audiences with SEO. So why do
Yeah.
you think that doesn't translate?
I don't know. I've spent a lot of money. I'm getting clicks. I've had campaigns where I was down to 5 cents a click and I was getting 100 clicks a day, and I just couldn't get it to convert. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, I don't know. I've clearly got some kind of problem I need to work through with my paid ads. The last session hurt a little bit. Like I said, I lost about 6 grand. So I need to recover from that a bit until I get my confidence back up.
Yeah. Well, I really, really appreciate you doing this interview with me and answering all these questions. I hope that those of you who watched the interview and were interested in passive income or passive income affiliate marketing or any of the concepts that we talked about really got a lot of things to think about when you decide to get into it. Um, I definitely think that there are passive income components to affiliate marketing, and so I hope that you don't take that away from our conversation that there is not the possibility. But I think that you have to expect active income, especially at the startup phase. So that's my take on it. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you're interested in hearing more about product and service reviews, as well as buyer's guides and growth strategies to help you grow a business from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise. And I forgot to ask you, what projects are you working on now, and where can people find you if they want to know more and learn more from you?
One more cup of coffee with a hyphen between of and coffee. Another classic mistake I made back in the day. One more cup of coffee.com. And I have a couple guides there and a lot on affiliate programs and whatnot. And that's my main hub.
Yeah, I really like I was talking to my mom and it's so funny. I was in Ohio and my mom was we were talking about they do a real estate investing company. So we were talking about how affiliate marketing could be relevant for them as real estate investors. And so I'm like, I mean, you can actually partner with companies that are relevant to your customers and you can make additional income from referring people to them. And she's like, I want to know more about this. So I looked up real estate affiliate programs and guess who pops up?
Me.
You. So I think you got a lot of good stuff there. I've also seen like different. You had some really really creative ideas. I think you had like stripper affiliate programs, or is something like that.
Probably.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's everything. I just published that thing in Wealthy Affiliate the other day about edible paint. You know, that was another website I tried to start back in the day was Edible Gold. I think I had ediblegold.org and
uh-huh.
made a couple sales, never took off. But yeah, I mean, there's affiliate programs for everything. And even if
But
there's not, there's partnerships that you could be like, oh, I have this website about whatever. I want to promote your product. Give me a discount code, and I'll, go from there.
yeah, but I definitely you shouldn't underestimate how good that stuff is and how many people can be helped with it, because um, some of the ideas you've come up with, I end up doing keyword research on something I'm trying to learn about, and then end up popping up on your site all the time. So definitely, if you're interested in learning more about affiliate marketing or different creative ways you can use affiliate marketing, if you're a small business owner, maybe you have you want to know how can you find affiliate programs that are relevant for you. Nathaniel has, or Roderick, sorry, has a lot of really cool articles that can help you see how you can apply it to your business type. And it's applicable for service-based businesses. It's applicable for product-based businesses. It's so much you can do with affiliate marketing. So definitely check out one more cup of coffee.com. And so that's all I have for this interview. And I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you did, please like below and also subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon for notifications. And I really hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks for having me on. Bye.